Welcome to our 10th episode of Comic Watchers. Comic Watchers is brought to you by Comic Watch. Comic Watch is your source for all your comics and media news and reviews written by fans for fans. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Spread the word that we're coming for the clickbait sites. It's our time now. I'm your host, Cody, coming to you from Oahu, and we're without JJ this week, so here's the rest of this week's Devil's Three-Way.
Brian from superheroesbookclub.com.
And Derbs from Salt Lake City, Utah, and really just Comic Watch. That's all I do. All the time. Just Comic Watch.
Yeah, I always say like from somewhere else, but I'm really just from Comic Watch.
Yeah.
It just sounds nice.
It's true. Like, that's pretty much all we do, and it's awesome. And most of the time, it's great.
Yeah.
So, Brian, we are really going to miss JJ this week. Brian, what do you have in terms of news for us this week?
Yeah, so all right. You can dive in and get wet with Aquaman early with your Amazon Prime membership. And AMC's National Amusement and Regal are selling tickets pre-ordered a week early, December 15th. You can get those at www.atomtickets.com. Donna Troy will be appearing on Titans, who will be played by Connor Leslie. And that's actually all we have for news.
Have they shown it?
Go for it.
Derbs.
Have they shown any pictures of her at all, or is it just
Yeah,
still
I'm gonna send this. Yeah, there's a picture of her and Robin, or possibly former Robin, Dick Grayson, and them. I'll give it to you so you can post it over my face when we went over that one.
Cool.
Is she in costume, or is this her in civvies?
Just in civvies.
Okay.
But I'd be super interested to see what type of costume they're going to use. If they're going to use the more current star one or the red one with the stars going down it. Either way, I'm excited. I know Ross will be super excited. She's one of his favorites.
Yeah, she's one of mine too now.
Me too, especially after the last couple of arcs.
Yeah.
Unless she kills everybody.
I'm sure they'll probably go like black and silver just because of the tone of the show.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they tried to go bright and shiny with anything on this show.
Right.
They
like lights.
They seem, like lights. Like, we fight all our fights in the dark.
Yeah. But there's Starfire. I mean, she's always bright and shining, and she's not wearing the fur coat.
Oh, she wore a new outfit today, or last Friday.
Oh, really? What is she wearing now?
A purple shiny jumpsuit. It's a little onesie. She still had her fur coat. It looked good, though.
Fur coat's got to go. That's my only complaint about her look, is that fur coat just really kind of dumbs the whole thing down, like dulls it.
Right.
So I was glad to see her take the fur coat off, although it looked like it was hard. Like, it looked like she really had to work pretty hard to get that coat off.
Actually, Dick had no problem taking the coat off.
Well, that is his superpower.
Yeah. Well, and
they
were asking him what his power was. It's laying the pipe.
Indeed. So, you fellas ready to move on to our spotlight book?
If you're a redhead.
I am. So
No.
What?
That's only when Dick's superpower comes into play.
Oh, right.
If it's a redhead.
Right.
Oh, I totally thought he was calling you out for not being a redhead. I was like, okay.
Long story. If you're still watching, we do apologize. So we decided, I guess kind of unilaterally, this is on me, but I decided that this week's spotlight book was going to be Uncanny XMen #1, and we're just going to roll with it. But so to me, this is the hottest book of the week. You've got Uncanny XMen returning, not in the kind of Cullen Bunn mode that he did his Uncanny X-Men series, where it was, a Magneto-led team. You don't really have this like giant core central X-Men story. It's more tangential. Where here you've got, blue team, gold team, classic X-Men lineup, all the heavy hitters coming together for one massive 10-week weekly event. It's being written by Ed Brisson, who's been writing Extermination, and we'll talk a little bit about Extermination, I'm sure. And Old Man Logan, now Dead Man Logan. It's also got Rosenberg, who did Derp Cody. Phoenix Resurrection. He's currently working on closing out Astonishing X-Men, and Kelly Thompson, who did the Rogue and Gambit miniseries and is currently working on Mr. and Mrs. X. Mohammed Asrar on art for the first 3 issues, I believe. You might recognize him from New 52 Supergirl or X-Men Red, the first 6 issues of X-Men Red. So that's your general creative team. The general direction of the series, stop me if you've heard this one before, but there's a threat to mutant kind. The government is out to get them. There is a particular senator that is in the spotlight pushing a mutant cure.
Oh, stop! You gotta stop.
What?
I've heard this one.
Exactly. Like there's something intensely familiar about this story, but also not necessarily in a bad way. And I'll kind of go further into that later, or maybe somebody else will go further into that. But so you've got this senator, he needs protection. Jamie Madrox is back from the future, or wherever the hell Jamie's been. He's trying to stop something from happening. Dark Beast is there because Rosenberg is writing it. You've got Bishop off on a mission to stop a cataclysmic time disruption. Like there's a lot of things going on in this first issue. Some of it crucially important, some of it less so. But everybody's involved. Damn near everyone. You get the Young X-Men. You've got, no appearances by any of the major X-Forcers or X-Factors except for Jamie so far. But I imagine that they'll be involved in this 10 issue somewhere along the way. The New Mutants have kept their way out of it, but there's been teases on Twitter from Rosenberg that we'll see them in the next issue, which comes out tomorrow.
Wait, what comes out tomorrow?
Uncanny #2.
Oh, but the new X-Men were kind of in there.
The new X-Men were, not the New Mutants. I'm talking about like the classic New Mutants, X-Force lineup, Boom Boom and Richter, Shatterstar, and that crew. I see Brian's looking at porn. So that's kind of your general setup. I don't know if I really captured that super well, but I mean, there's, like I said, there's a lot going on, and a lot of it feels incredibly familiar because it feels like a return to the same tropes that made Claremont's run iconic. So I personally enjoyed the issue. I have complaints, but I mean, I always have complaints. I can find something to complain about a fucking sunny day. So there is that. But what did you guys think of Uncanny #1?
I was actually looking for the Facebook post that I saw about the New Mutants, but I couldn't find it. So honestly, I thought it was okay at the best. I mean, it was one of the first books that I read. So when I read it, it was great. But now that it's almost been a week since I read it, it's like, what happened? I did like that the New Mutants from Armor was there. They kind of went on a mission with Kitty. It was kind of a cool book overall. That's kind of all I have.
There's a bunch of continuity problems. I don't know if we're getting into the point where we're like wanting to nitpick at all. I love the X-Men. I like seeing what's going on with these characters. I like seeing them interact. I'm kind of ridiculous because I just don't get sick of it. So, yeah, I'm not the best person to really get into critically about some of this. But I thought that, these trainees on the Blackbird that, that they're kind of tired of being thought of as trainees. And I thought they were already fully X-Men. Like, Were they made X-Men during or after the Messiah complex? Like,
I don't think so. I think they remained students. That's why, like in a series like Generation X, you still see them going to class. Like you don't get to be a full-fledged X-Man until you graduate. At least was always my understanding.
Yeah, but I thought they actually made
right.
them X-Men
I
after the
think
Messiah complex.
that's right. When he did the Young Mutants, when it was like a 12-issue series, that Ink and a bunch of them ended up being X-Men, that he wasn't going to train them to...
Basically, they're just not following the continuity because it serves what they want to do right now better.
Yes, I don't get that feel at all. Like even if they are full-fledged X-Men, that doesn't mean that they get assigned to high priority missions. I mean,
Right.
you know, like Kitty for 10 years, like like other than, you know, her Christmas alone in the mansion with the demon and, you know, one or two other like kind of prominent one-offs. Kitty was always like, we're not sure if we want to take you on this mission because you're like 16 and you're not particularly useful and you're a little bit unbalanced. So I mean,
Yeah,
like I kind of feel like that's what we're seeing here with the littles.
It's all relative. Yeah, I mean it's a small complaint. I'm just niggling on detail just because that's what nerds do, right? But like Laura, like many of these people are like her classmates, but now she's a full X-Man and being included. I guess it's just because she's Wolverine and she's at a different level, but she's also kind of like not even really interacting with these former teammates of hers, like she's too good for them or something. I don't know. But it just seems like they're just kind of skipping some things that I like to kind of pay attention to. The interpersonal interactions is just a thing with the X-Men, right? And they're just kind of not giving a fuck about it and moving over and moving on. You know, that's all right.
Well, I mean, and to be fair, a lot of the stuff that they're stepping on and stepping over was bad. Like, if they want to step on 36 issues of Mark Guggenheim writing X-Men, I'm down. Let's forget that shit ever happened. I kind of already did. Like, I was trying to think.
Funny.
I was trying to think on the way over, like, what happened in those 36 issues? Well, not a wedding, but yes, a wedding.
Right.
And what else?
They went into space. They went into the negative zone.
I don't even remember them going in the negative zone. Like,
yeah, the only reason I remember that was because they had cool outfit or uniforms. It was like purple and red.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, and then Mojo World.
I
hated
the Mojo World.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that one. I like the negative zone. I like the first arc, kinda. Yeah, I don't know, but I will say thank you for Uncanny XMen for giving or leaving Nightcrawler his beard.
Yeah, smart. People have really grown attached to that beard.
It just gives him a seasoned look about him that I really appreciate. He's not just this fresh-faced, you know, rookie-looking dude. He looks like he's got however many years under his belt that he should have at this point.
Yeah,
right.
He looks it. I like it.
And
he's
also
graduated.
Yeah, and also Laura, wash your claws. That's gross. Eating out of her claws.
Oh, that's totally gross. And don't you think, like, reinserting the claws with the orange juice on him would burn?
Probably.
I mean, I know she's a Wolverine, but damn, that would hurt. And she's not Honey Badger. Where is Honey Badger, by the way? Like, I love Honey Badger. Where is she?
Give it
Where's
time.
Gabby?
You can only fit so many characters into so many pages. Like, she's probably chilling at the mansion playing. What's the new one? We something? I don't know. Dance Dance Revolution.
Well, they give us, you know, what's his name with the translucent, gloopy skin instead of Gabby. That's great. Thanks.
Oh, are you talking about Glob?
You guys hate Glob.
I do hate Glob.
I do hate Glob.
Ah, poor Glob.
I hate Glob,
got you.
and
I got you, Glob.
I hate Dupe as well. Like, it's the same. They're the same thing to me.
Dupe's a ripoff of Slimer.
I know, sorta.
Bitchy, bitchy, bitchy.
JJ's not here. We have to replace it.
Why do I have to be the positive one? This is bullshit. All right, so speaking on the positive sides, though, so if you think about kind of the narrative trajectory here, I do think that it's funny, funny, ironic at least, that Kitty is the one that leads these young ones into this mission. These young ones who are, against the MLF. They're supposed to be taking down Forearm, which all of the jokes about Forearm were landed well. They landed
They
well.
were on point. Yeah.
They were great. They were great. So they go up against the MLF and they're like, no, put the kids in the back. And it's Kitty saying it, who has been put in the back for years and years. So there's this neat kind of generational, like, you have arrived, Kitty. Now you put people in the corner. And I liked that. And then you kind of spin into this Days of Future Past. Blatant parallels with Days of Future Past.
She needs to go back in the bullet.
You're a jerk. Just terrible. So you get the Days of Future Past stuff, and here comes a rant, I guess. But then you've got these shades of Age of Apocalypse happening, right? You've got a bishop who is one of the only people that remembers the Age of Apocalypse because he was there. You've got Dark Beast. You've got Sugar Man, who I don't know where Sugar Man's been, but he's dead now. So there's that.
Well, wasn't he supposed to be dead before too? I thought.
I couldn't tell you. The last time I saw Sugar Man was I can do this. It was an X-Force book during the first 129 issues or 125 issues of X-Force. So it's been, probably 15 years since the last time I saw him. But
it's an irrelevant question anyway, concerning the X-Men and comics in general, but especially the X-Men. So never mind.
But you get these shades of Age of Apocalypse. You're starting to see kind of these threads being woven through, and we know because of the solicits that in January we'll see Age of X-Men Alpha, and then we'll see a timeline shift similar to what we saw with Age of Apocalypse. So like Apocalypse being kidnapped, Sugar Man being dead, Dark Beast on the run, and then a mysterious telepath who's controlling humans and giving them powers and giving Jean and Storm and the rest of the team fits, is not that difficult, I feel like, to kind of suss out where this is going. Like the older lady that Jean sits down with and has her like ridiculous conversation about the fate of humanity and where humanity stands right now is obviously Nate talking about looking at this world and saying, well, this is better than where I came, but it still blows. And I have all of the powers. I can do better. So it's telegraphed, but it's telegraphed into stories that I've always loved. And that's something that I feel like as a whole has been missing from the X books. Like, I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but like there is a moment of about 25 years of X continuity that was really great. And since then, there's been good stuff, but nothing like, oh my God, 20 years from now, I'm going to read this in hardcover collection just because.
Real quick, I was kind of flipping through the X-Men book. Did you notice the guy with the machete that, with the tie-in book that, or not a tie-in, an extra story, that the guy that came after Bishop with the machete has a Cyclops mask on?
I didn't notice that.
That's all.
Right? I didn't. And I mean, now we know with today's solicits that Cyclops is coming back. And that's the problem with solicits. And that's the problem when you're in the kind of industry that we are, where we're constantly looking at the next big thing, what's happening. Every little bit of information is scrutinized. So we're already aware of what's happening in February, which really does hinder what happens today.
And now we're propagating it because maybe we're talking to somebody who buries their head in the sand with regards to solicits, and no, we just told them.
Well, if they're burying their heads in the sand regarding solicits, they're probably not listening to us anyway.
Maybe so.
They're probably not one of the two.
But you're not wrong. I felt that way actually reading Uncanny. Familiar themes that I really enjoy. Kind of Bishop's inner monologue was great. I really like Bishop. And I don't know, just Madrox going crazy and the tide of Madrox is just coming in. Like, I found that very awesome. I felt like I was reading a real X book, you know, and I really enjoyed that. I think Apocalypse, it's weird to see him captured like that for one thing. It's kind of, but another thing, wasn't he last known to be a prisoner of the Celestials? Isn't that his...
Last I saw of him was wherever the X-Men Blacks were going. After X-Men Black Magneto, and they had that backup story of him like devolving into a human.
But I mean, even before that, like they never showed him being uncaptured by or her being rescued from the Celestials.
When was that? When was that?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go look. I'm just going from memory here.
Yeah, because like I remember him being free in like the Extraordinary X-Men era. I don't remember him getting picked up by Celestials. That might have been before I had come back to the X books.
But I mean, the Celestials got infected anyway recently. I mean, he could have broken free and done whatever. It doesn't really matter. I'm just thinking contextually here. I'm not sure. Continuity wise, I don't know. You're usually the encyclopedia, Cody. I thought you might know, so I thought I'd bring it up.
I apologize.
I feel like Derb is so disappointed in you right now.
I stopped reading the X-Men Blacks after I was so let down by the Claremont one. And then I don't like Mojo in any capacity. I don't really like Emma. Crucify me now. I think she's a crappy anti-hero or whatever. Like, make her a villain or don't. But make a decision. And I don't really care about Juggernaut. He's fun. Hulk smash type Juggernaut, fine, but he doesn't need depth. It's unnecessary. Let's cut it out. So I didn't read any of the Blacks except for Magneto, which was terrible.
I read Emma's. It was okay. The story was great. The art was challenging. So I think X-Men, I mean, I really enjoyed it. It did feel like it was from X-Men United, the movie. Though when I was reading it, a senator has a cure.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know why I'm complaining, because United was one of my favorite movies. I know.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
I feel like I should stop the broadcast. I mean, we're done now.
I walked out of that movie with 3 friends. I remember this because it felt traumatic. Because we ended up walking to like a Red Robin, sitting down, and we just stared at each other for like 5 minutes. Almost as if like we just survived a bombing or something, just sitting there looking at our drinks. Just like, I remember my buddy's dad was just like, that was shit. It was really funny. Plus, I mean, we'd also had Spider-Man 3, I think before that, like the week before, we had all went and watched it and really just hated it. So it was just like a double blow, just complete, oh, what are you doing? It was a sad, sad time.
I love Red Robin. They have like the best micheladas.
I was actually just going to ask, like, how is Red Robin? I've never lived somewhere with a Red Robin, but the commercials look yum.
Yum.
That's like the last time I was there. When did X3 come out?
I don't have any idea. Sometime in my
2011, I think.
I've like been there 3 times in my life, so I don't know.
I distinctly remember walking out of X-Men 3 or X-Men United and saying, "Oh wow, they did so much stuff. Like there was a Sentinel head and angels flying around and Kelsey Grammer is Beast." And then like every step I took, I was like, "Wait a minute. Oh, they got me. It was shiny as hell."
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what I was thinking? I was confusing them. It's Last Stand, not United. United was number 2.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. But I was talking about Last Stand.
Yeah. And it was actually
Me too.
2006. I lost like half of a decade somewhere. I don't know. Probably at Red Robin drinking enchiladas.
No, X-Men United, X-Men 2 was brilliant.
Yeah.
That was, I think, the best of the X films. Somewhere between there and X-Men First Class, depending on whether or not you're able to show the necessity for like comic accurate. But
Yeah, I love First Class, but I still think X1 really, it still stands on its own. Like I really love it. Sorry.
ugh, it's like the cat just pooped. Like what just happened? Oh, X1 was bad. You know what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning?
The same as everything else.
Yeah, if you're gonna look at one line and judge an entire movie on one line,
Well, we could judge it on Sabretooth's lines if you want, if you'd like.
he had some good ones.
Roar! JJ's
Yeah.
not here. Somebody's got to do it.
That was a good one.
Roar!
You've made it to this point in the show. We are so apologizing.
We didn't really plan ahead. We just kind of said, hey, let's talk about X-Men 1 and then see what happens.
Yeah.
So, I mean, overall, for me, I think Uncanny X-Men #1 was somewhere in the high 7s to low 8s with high upside. What about you
Okay.
guys?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty high.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, it wasn't a perfect issue, but it was a first issue. A lot of setup, a lot of things going on. And I think it could be something great, but then again, it could be not. I mean,
Well, I enjoyed it. I mean, I enjoyed Heroes in Crisis too, but I enjoyed it a lot more in Uncanny X-Men than Heroes in Crisis. Because I know that's a hot topic, I think. Isn't it one coming out next week?
following week,
Oh, gotcha.
I believe. I think.
Something's coming out soon.
Tomorrow
What's
is Shazam #1. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the art was kind of in and out too for me. It was really, really good at times, and then at other times it was very simplistic and I don't know, it was inconsistent.
Yeah, my favorite part of the art was when Psylocke, thank you for letting her have a shield and a sword. Like, that was kind of cool. Like, I didn't know what they were going to do with her powers when she became her former self.
White. You can say it.
So I was wondering what kind of direction. So that was cool to see her kind of pull out a sword and a shield. Which is kind of funny. It's very like UK, like what you think of in Vikings. Well, that's not really UK. Anyways, moving on.
Like King Arthur.
Yeah.
Table style.
Thank you. By the way, the Vikings show is pretty good. I suggest all of you watch it.
It's pretty good. I watched through like the first 3 or 4 seasons, but
yeah, I'm caught up with Vikings. I love it.
But
yeah, you're on Viking in Utah.
I mean, my blood's mostly Scandinavian, so I'm down.
But yeah, you mentioned, not really digging the art or struggling through the art. And I mean, that's how I feel about every Muhammad Asrar book I've ever read. And I didn't realize how consistent I'd been until I looked at an old blog of mine where I had reviewed Supergirl #1, and probably the first time I'd ever seen his art. And everything I said about his art was everything you just said about his art, like 7 years ago. So
that validates my opinion. I feel good.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah, because I had just written up a review of X-Men Red #1, and I was like, oh, what do I say about this? Okay, all right, I got this. And then when I came across that blog later, I was like, it's the same guy. And I said the same thing. It's indistinct. He doesn't do faces. He doesn't have individual characters. Some panels look lazy. Some panels look rushed. Some panels look great. So it just makes me think, maybe this is not the best medium for him, with deadlines and shit.
Was this a big book? Was this like an $8 book? I can't remember.
It was an $8 book.
Yeah, so they timed that the same Wednesday that released Avengers 10, another $8 book.
That's correct.
3-4 stories in it.
That is correct. Did you want to talk about Avengers 10?
Only if you guys want to talk about Avengers 10. It's pretty interesting.
Let's do Brian's questions first, and then roll into Avengers.
I kind of forgot about that. All right. So I have 3 questions for you guys. Are you ready? This one is actually a mix. Oh, I forgot to send it to Derbs. He usually likes to know beforehand.
No, I'm fine.
As Cody does not. All right. So I made it a little bit more rounded, or a little bit more enclosed, so that you don't have a lot of options. So first question: Batman the movie or Batman Returns?
Wait. Are we talking just the first 2 Michael Keaton movies?
Yeah, just the Batman the movie and then Batman Returns. Which do you prefer?
I'm going to go with, I opt for Batman the movie based on the 1966 series, Batman 66, with Adam West and Burt Ward, which was also titled Batman the Movie Win.
You're always about trying to cheat the system.
Yes.
You're such
This
an
is why he
asshole.
always ends up in jail. Go ahead, Derbs.
I watched the first one 1,000 times. I was hanging out at my cousin's house. The oldest cousin on my mother's side, we're very close in age. He's the one that introduced me to The Dark Knight Returns. He had a first edition signed Frank Miller copy. He made me wear white gloves to read his copy. And it was around the same time that movie came out. I mean, and I love Batman my whole life, but I was a dabbler and I was a kid. I was like 13. This was like 1992, 93, something like that. And it was ridiculous. I watched that movie 2-3 times at their house, and they basically said I had to go home. And so I stole their movie. I walked out with the movie, and then like 3 days later, they're like, "Do you have our movie?" And I was like, "Yes."
Okay, so what we've learned is Batman's turned you into a criminal.
It sounds more like Batman Returns, doesn't it?
But I'm more of a anti-hero, so it's okay. So yeah, the first one just based on nostalgia, and the second one was so weird for me though. It scared the crap out of me when I was a kid. It just messed with me, just the way the Penguin was, and and the whole hell here with Selena. It was just so disturbing, and it was cool, but the first one was very different.
I definitely feel like they weren't made for kids, which was kind of cool. Although, I mean, that's who their audience was at the time, but I didn't feel like it was made for kids. Mine, if you all keep score, my favorite has and always will be Catwoman, so I got to go with Batman Returns. All right.
Is that it? That's all
that I went into the drive-thru. So it has nostalgia to it, and also because Catwoman was in it.
Nice.
Yeah. And plus, it was probably like the best Catwoman rendition of Catwoman that we have ever had in any movie or so on. Second question. Are you guys ready?
Let's do it.
Favorite Fantastic Four member? Now, this is kind of a tricky question because it can not only include the normal four, it can be any member that's ever worn the suit.
Yeah, I mean, you just made it so... Wait, am I muted?
No, you're here.
You made it so easy. Like Jen Walters, She-Hulk is my favorite member of the Fantastic Four. Easy, hands down.
Okay.
I mean, I have never followed the Fantastic Four, so I don't really know a lot of the alternate members. I assume Spider-Man's been one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I won't cheat like Cody. I won't be a Cody, and I'll say Human Torch.
Okay.
He because I love Firestar. Growing up, seeing the Spider-Man and his amazing friends, and I love Firestar. And Human Torch was just boy Firestar. I loved it.
Okay. Mine's actually The Thing. Because when I went on my Fantastic Four run, the first book that I ever read was, I think, 57, where the Thing hates himself and there's a new thing. His body gets mixed into another person. And just for his reaction and everything, it was super cool. So The Thing has always been my favorite Fantastic Four member. All right, final question. This one's a little bit harder. It's, who is your all-time favorite Robin?
Quick side note. Something went wonky with Derbs' camera, and now I'm the primary unless I manually switch. So bear with me on that.
Okay. Oh, that's a mean question. That's really mean for me. I'll have to say Grayson, because Nightwing is the shit.
No.
And
Favorite Robin. When they were Robin.
Yeah, so it's Grayson, because he was the first. He's the best. I'm the other Robins idolize that Robin, and Nightwing's a badass, and yeah.
Well, I don't think Red Hood idolizes that Robin at all.
Well, there was a time when he was, though. I mean, there's some wow factor to it. I mean, he did a little bit while he was actually Robin, but yeah.
That's true. One, he is Robin. I think my favorite one is actually one that I don't think anybody usually picks. It's Tim Drake. Because I love Nightwing as Nightwing. I didn't really care for him as Robin. When Red Hood was Robin, when I read Death of Superman, I was like, Jesus, it's the 90s. Put some pants on him. So I don't know. I just have to, I like, in Damian, I just can't with him. I just can't.
Tim was Robin during Death of Superman.
Oh, that's right. I got that confused.
Yeah, because Jason died in '88. I was just thinking about this earlier because Jim Starlin's coming to our convention out here, and Derbs had asked, is he the one that wrote Death in the Family? And it's like, yeah. And that was one of my first Batman arcs. So, I mean, I'll always have a soft spot for Jason. But I'm kind of with you on this one, Brian. Like, I think as far as being Robin goes, nobody's better at it than Tim.
Mm-hmm.
How did Tim get to be Robin? He figured it out. He figured out everything. Like, I live next door to Bruce Wayne, who I'm pretty sure is Batman, and I can break into the cave. That's super dope. Like, that's really, really hard to argue with.
Right.
So that's...
Yeah, no, I remember when I read it, I was like, hey, which Robin is this? When I first read Death of Superman, and you said it was Tim, and I was like, Jesus, they still haven't put pants on him? So yeah, I just got those confused. But yeah, that's all for this week's questions. I hope you guys join us and comment below with your answers.
Yeah, I had a Dick Grayson figurine, one of the original little and it was one of the first superhero figurines I ever had, and I had painted his legs green. Couldn't stand it. I just thought it looked so weird. I didn't care that he wasn't wearing them. I just thought it looked weird, so I painted them green.
Sacrilege.
Yeah.
And speaking of sacrilege, Avengers 700 or Avengers 10, depending on how you want to look at it, came out this week. Jason Aaron on the writing details here in this Avengers series, and Derbs spent a lot of time with it today. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey with Avengers 700?
I was expecting more of a transition between what happened in 9 and what happened in 10. And there really wasn't much of one. We didn't get to see really, we jumped right into the Winter Guard being created by the Russians, seeing all the members collate into sort of a team, and then it jumps into the kind of the Avengers and what's going on a little bit. But it really was a team on team super brawl, and that's all it was. I was thinking that there was going to be something more on the kind of like military against military, not just. I'm just reading this note here. Team on team, that's called an orgy. I see. Thank you, Brian. Yeah, so that was, I can't say disappointing, because I've been reading Jason Aaron's run, and I think I've been getting out of the mood of wanting to watch a slugfest. And I was expecting a little bit more from this, especially with the gravitas of Namor in the last one in 9. How there was a lot of emotional tension in that one, and there just was a lot of subtlety to it, which is a little atypical of Aaron's work. But he can really go there, and his dialogue crafting and his inner monologue crafting is really good. But I really did kind of feel like they're like, this is issue 700, and we want you to have a big fight with these 3 teams, and let's do it. And so he did, and the dialogue's actually pretty good. There's some stuff that they say during the fights that's great, but that was all it was. And then they go to the next story, which is completely different art-wise. I liked it fine. It's the same artist that did Gideon Falls, which is one of my favorite series going right now. I just can't remember his name. Cody?
Andrea Sorrentino.
Thank you. My memory, and just it was very different to the point where it was jarring. I'm kind of, every now and again, I wasn't sure what was happening because I had to stare at the art, and yeah. But it was interesting. But that was actually one of the best parts of the book. Robbie's having coffee with Odin. It was fantastic. I thought it was just really cool. And the way they talk, and the way Odin is reminiscing in Robbie's Los Angeles house. It's so bizarre and really excellently done. Plus you get to see some subtle things like Robbie getting stabbed with Gungear and not dying, but actually just instantly transforming into the Rider and throwing Odin into chains. Pretty excellent. And then after that, we get to see what ends up happening with Loki, just being tortured by the Celestials, and him just kind of being like, oh, you brought me up here just to be tortured? That's fantastic. That's great. That's how original. Torture me, you sick, gigantic fucks, And then Hot Claws shows up, and I was staring at it going, he's just completely out of context. Just Wolverine standing there in that dumb hat. And all of a sudden the claws come out, and then the Phoenix Force comes out, and he's talking about the war that's coming. And Loki's saying, oh, there's a war that's coming. And Wolverine's like, oh, it's going to be even worse than that. And it's like, worse than the worst? That sounds way worse. Anyway, it's looking like the Star Brand's going to be a big part of it. So I really like the Star Brand. I've been a little curious as to why Star Brand hasn't been a bigger part of the Marvel publications. Just because I think it's a great idea, and the name is cool. But again, it's going to be a big part of the next kind of this final wave that's going to happen of whatever it is that's coming to destroy everybody. And
is this the Star Brand that migrated over from the new universe, like DP7 and all that stuff, Star Brand, or is this something else?
This is something else that they haven't said anything about. The reason why Odin attacked Robbie is because Robbie killed the latest incarnation of Starbrand, because Starbrand went insane and just attacked him, and he was defending himself. And Odin got pissed off that he killed him, but he did it in self-defense, and that's why they stopped fighting and started drinking coffee. Odin was also already drunk, so... but then they cut to the Wasp, I believe, flying through Transylvania and running away from vampire bat sentries and dodging through and stinging vampires, going all the way through, Castlevania's lair to go find Blade, it turns out, to turn Blade into an Avenger. So she's breaking Blade out of Dracula's castle, and I think Blade's going to take Doctor Strange's place as the permanent member, filling the last chair. And so apparently magic and Blade and the vampires and that kind of thing is going to take a large part of what's coming next. So kind of everything is science fiction, fantasy, all of it going to be part of it. It's just go big or go home with the Avengers. It's got to be the biggest everything.
And there will be explosions.
Yep.
So I'll be honest, I didn't read that one.
Oh, it's fine. But they're also they're finally tying in everything that they set up with the primordial Avengers, the million years ago Avengers. So Odin tells Robbie about Mammoth Rider, Hell Mammoth. I called it Hellephant in my review. So he tells him about Hellephant Rider and warns him about the Star Brands that are coming possibly. And now we have this new iteration of Phoenix, which completes the members of ties in to everything, bringing it all together. But it's Wolverine. And he looks like Wolverine. It would have been nice to maybe not have him look like a Canadian shit kicker while he's standing in a rock in space with gods and demigods talking about the future of the universe. But that's Wolverine, bub.
Yeah, no, that sounds right.
Don't forget about it, bub, because bubs are bubs.
Does he have a cigar, or is the Casada ban still in effect?
I don't remember if he had a cigar. I'm sure he just got done smoking one, though.
Fair. That's fair.
I'm sure. Yeah. And that's it.
So if you're out there enjoying Avengers, it sounds like Avengers continues to be Avengers. Like, this is a Jason Aaron joint. To me, it sounds exactly like what I would expect from Jason Aaron, which is why I'm not reading it. But if you like Jason Aaron, you're probably really digging it. So that's cool.
Yeah, JJ's a big fan of it. I mean, Thor got to fight a bear, is what he told me.
That is JJ in a nutshell.
Oh man, when he said it, it killed me because it's just the one thing I would expect JJ to say, and he said it. Yeah, I mean, not that I predicted it. It's just when he said it, I was like, "That's so JJ."
Yep. That's so JJ. Oh man, full circle. We were talking about That's So Raven before the show started, and now we are That's So JJ.
I am paying attention.
So
I'm not.
Brian has checked out. He's off in La La Land. If you're wondering what I'm laughing about incessantly here while Derbs is giving a very fine review of what is probably a very fine comic, we have an internal chat to keep ourselves on track. And Brian is in there. So that's why I'm laughing.
So my whole goal in life is to throw them off track. So whenever they're giving a review or something, I'll try to say something really funny or inappropriate to throw them off to make them laugh on camera.
And by
Derbs
inappropriate, it's usually awful.
Thank you.
Don't show Tipper Gore. She will put a label on us faster than a Texas minute.
Yeah. So anyways, that's what I do when people are reviewing when the intention's not on me. And Derbs is amazing at it because he doesn't care. He's just like, yeah, whatever. And then Cody I usually can get, and then JJ can't see it, so.
So what I'm hearing is this is his personal way of trolling me, which is working. So whatever, like good on you.
Thank you.
I did theater back in the day, so I've learned I learned how to keep a straight face a long time ago.
So I want to real quick touch on Flash number 58 because I've been pretty rough on Flash for the last 3 months. And I mean, rightfully so, I feel like I have no regrets about being rotten in the ways that I've talked about Flash. Force Quest started. This is from Joshua Williamson, who's been writing since the beginning of Rebirth, and Rafa Sandoval on art. Force Quest was a really good start to a potentially great arc. So I wanted to just throw in there, Flash 58. If you've listened to me at some point and been like, I'm staying away from that book sounds like garbage, that the chat is happening.
Not me. Not me this time.
It was not you this time. If you've been avoiding that book because I've said it was garbage, now is an all right time to step back in. It's not an amazing story so far, but it's a good story. It's tying in a lot of old DC continuity. You see the first stop on their worldwide venture to figure out what the forces are and how to control them is the same island that Johnny Thunder got Thunderbolt, for you Golden Age JSA type fans out there. So I mean, there's some things happening here that are interesting. They're fun. The art is really clean and nice. It's not the best art I've seen on there, but I mean, how do you stack up against Howard Porter? I'm not going to fault anybody on that. But it's good. It's an okay time to start buying Flash again if you've stopped, because I said don't buy Flash until I say it's okay. So.
What number are we at now?
We are at number 58. Thank you, bi-weeklies.
So you're saying 58 in is time again?
Yes. 58 is a good time to start buying Flash again.
Damn.
I just saw, 51 was the last good issue. And then 52 to 56 were just straight up bad. Not even, I didn't have anything redeeming to say about those issues.
Usually you're much more even-handed and understanding. That must mean they're pretty bad.
They were rough. It was not. I'm a Scotty Collins defender. I know a lot of people don't like him, and usually I can find things about his art that I like. In the last 3-issue arc, I just couldn't. The arc before it was the same story as the arc we just read. So, we got 2 back-to-back, same arcs, okay to not good art. And neither of them did anything. Like, they were just spinning circles. So, Flash 58, come on home. I think we got big things coming. And then in February, we'll see a 4-part crossover with Batman. Joshua Williamson will be writing Batman, so you can buy Batman again. Just a little sting at all the Tom King fans out there. So 4-issue arc. It looks like it'll tie into Heroes in Crisis, and it will be Barry versus Bruce fighting over who can solve Wally's murder.
That's probably the biggest thing on everybody's mind.
It's funny that in Titans, the guys still don't know about Nightwing or Wally.
In Titans?
Mm-hmm.
I think they do know about both of them.
Nope.
They don't. I think they don't.
From them.
I thought they didn't know about Roy.
Right, Roy and Nightwing.
Yeah, well, they know about Nightwing, but maybe not Roy or Flash.
No, I'm pretty sure it wasn't. They don't know about Nightwing. Oh yeah, I don't remember.
They definitely know about Nightwing because he ain't there.
I'm pretty sure that they don't. I'll have to reread it, but I'm pretty sure that they don't know about Nightwing or Roy or.
In the last issue before Drowned Earth, it's one of the first things that happen is they report. It gets reported to them about Nightwing, and it depresses them all, and they're wondering what they're going to do without Nightwing in the lead. And drunken Donna decides to step up and tell Megan that she's the natural leader, but really it's Donna. But
that's because Donna did it.
Maybe.
I don't know. The more and more that the Titan series goes on, I don't think she did it.
Yeah, I don't think she. Yeah, I don't think she left the group long enough for it to be able to happen. They've been.
Who knows? Tom King, if you're listening, which you're not, nor is anybody else, but if by chance somebody you get this in your hands, if you make Don, or I'm your biggest supporter on this podcast. I love you, Tom King. Don't fuck this up. Do not make her the killer.
You say nobody's watching, but I have empirical evidence that David Mack watched a couple of weeks ago when I was talking about Cover. So, the legendary David Mack watched this silly show. We're doing something right.
Yeah, part of it. Just don't watch this one. We're a mess. We know. We're sorry.
We're not sorry.
I'm sorry.
He's so not sorry.
He's really not.
It's the tequila. Okay, so speaking
That's what you say every day.
No, it's not every day.
It's the tequila.
Okay, I can't keep up. I'm sorry for those of you that are watching afterwards and trying to be like, who's talking? Whatever happened, like I'm trying to manually switch, but then I forget, and then it happens.
Oh, so that's okay. Maybe Derbs can just blur out our faces again. It actually worked really nice. I actually reached out to somebody on Twitter that knows, because I want to get us on Spotify and iTunes. So I reached out. I was like, so last show we realized that we have faces for radio, and she's like, oh, so we that may be coming soon. You don't have to watch us on YouTube. You can listen to us on Spotify and iTunes coming very soon, and probably SoundCloud. But more on that because we have to figure out all the logistics, and it's a lot harder than it sounds.
Speak for yourself. My mom says I'm very handsome.
So you just totally threw me off of what I was going to say. Like I was on one too.
Your turn.
Yeah. So yeah, normally when I do this in meetings, I'll usually just like if somebody distracts me and I forget, like I'll just keep going back in the conversation and then it'll eventually click and this isn't working this time.
SoundCloud was the last thing you said. The logistics of
yeah, no,
taking
before
our faces
because I
out.
forgot what I was gonna say, so I started talking about that. So I was hoping what I was originally gonna say would come back. It didn't. Oh, okay. I just remembered. So Tyler really liked the title of Cocktails and Comics because it goes along with our sister show Coffee and Comics. So I kind of wanted to see, because I change my drink almost every week. Do you guys switch your drinks? What are you guys drinking?
Usually just varieties of beer, or sometimes rum or whatever.
Okay, so what I think we should do, and we're actually gonna have a staff meeting on cam for you guys. Do you guys want to like try something different each week and then kind of see if they like it, or is that a horrible idea?
That's a hell no for me. I have drank Jim Beam or Maker's Mark every show.
Okay.
I don't drink beer. I don't drink tequila. Like I'm pretty sure that's actually like illegal for me to drink tequila in 48 states.
It's obvious because you still have your clothes on.
Oh yeah, and I mean I'm not trying to fight the wall or the Christmas tree. My Christmas tree is up. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, no tequila for me.
The reason he's saying tequila is because this time I have tequila and squirt, ruby squirt. Derbs, please talk.
Squirt's just one of those words like moist. It's like those words that people's wives don't like to hear. Squirt and moist. They're just the same kind of thing.
JJ's not here to pitch our Patreon, but we have a Patreon, and for every $1 that you pledge to our Patreon, Brian's vibe will go off.
Thanks for watching.
Okay, next.
Just a brief hit on Future Watch, because we do have a pretty big comic week coming out. Tomorrow is New Comic Book Day, and you guys will have seen this on New Comic Book Day. I believe Dead Man Logan #1 comes out tomorrow. The 12-issue conclusion to the saga of Old Man Logan from Ed Brisson. Shazam #1 from Jeff Johns and Dale Eaglesham comes out tomorrow. I killed them. I did it. That's payback for every time you've interrupted me today. What else is tomorrow? Tomorrow we have a new Batman. We have a new Thor, I believe. That could be wrong. I spent so much time looking at the February releases today that I kind of forgot what was happening in this week.
Did you say Punisher?
I did not say Punisher. Punisher #8 comes out this week.
Pearl comes out.
#4.
Cover comes out. Uncanny XMen comes out. Yeah.
When does the next Pearl come out?
Tomorrow. #4.
We're on the cover of that one, right?
I don't know. Maybe.
We are on the cover of #4.
Well, we don't know yet. We don't know. I think it could have been a mistake on Comixology.
I would be really surprised. Comixology is pretty sharp, so.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Well, this is really unfortunate that... Oh, wait. I know where I can look.
Well, that's a big day tomorrow.
It's a really big day tomorrow.
I spent so much money last week. I mean, I spent enough money last week at the LCS that I told myself I wasn't going to spend money until after my vacation in February, and I put my hold on hold. You know, they're really cool at Dr. Volts about doing that, but I may have to go tomorrow. Damn it.
Okay, here we go. Here's the big hits. Batman 59, Spider-Geddon #4, Batman Damned #2, Marvel Knights 20th #2, Shazam #1, Web of Venom Carnage Born #1 one shot, Justice League 12, Uncanny 2, American Carnage #1, which looks like it could be a really interesting book from Brian Hill. Justice League Dark #5, Star Wars 57, Punisher 4, Immortal Hulk 9, and finally the long-awaited Tony Stark Iron Man #5. Most of the Marvel books look like they're a week or two old, or a week or two delayed. Most of the DC books are on time because DC's an outfit that has their shit together. Marvel doesn't seem to right now. But it's a huge week. Like, those are just, projected top 50 books. So that sucks for the wallet.
Yeah. But I'm actually really loving the Star Wars. Well, I only read one, but I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the hell out of the one that I read. And Spider-Geddon, I'm actually really, really surprised that I like it as much as I do, because I've never been like a Spider-Man fan, really. But this one is actually really good. I'm confused as shit, don't get me wrong. But it's really good. Like, even with me being confused and senile.
But Batman Damned 2 as well. Crap.
Yeah, and that'll be, a slightly more expensive book because it's magazine format, and I don't expect Batman Damned #2 to sell like #1 did, because it will be sans Batawang. But
I forgot about it.
I really do think that it will be a solid book. I'm really excited about it, and that review should be up sometime tomorrow on comic-watch.com. Keep your eyes peeled. That and Shazam. I will give you the Cody White guarantee that those reviews will be out tomorrow.
Ooh, Shazam.
You can bank on it.
Why you guys poo-poo Shazam? You guys haven't read any Shazam. Read Shazam. You will fall in love with Billy Batson. This is a great character. I promise you. I swear to God.
I'm not shitting on it. It's just more just memories of when I was a kid. It just sounded crappy, and so I just never got into it. But yeah, I mean, I can't, at this point in my life, I'm 40. I can't just indiscriminately shit on something I know nothing about. Plus, honestly, the movie looks like it's going to be freaking amazing. Like, it looks fantastic, in my view.
I totally agree. I think it's going to be a great movie. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be the kind of film that you can take your kids to and not be worried, it's going to be a Deadpool or, something above their level. Like, they'll be able to enjoy it for the action and the fun and the kind of connectivity you get with a superhero who's a kid at heart. I think that's going to be great. Like Elf, if Elf had a cape and, the strength of Hercules.
Right. Like a Lego movie. I've been enjoying those too, so.
Exactly.
Okay.
So on that note, I think it's time for us to close up shop.
Yeah, so we're going to be buzzing along here, and we are going to go ahead and close this show. I thank you for joining us, and we apologize that we were kind of all scatterbrains and just kind of bouncing around everywhere. We didn't have a lot of time to prepare for this show. However, please subscribe. Please go ahead and follow us on Facebook, The Comic Watchers. Go ahead and comment below, tell us to shut up, or give us that $1 to make,
To make Brian holler.
Yeah, yeah, apparently. And then go ahead and always check us out on comic-watch.com.
And for another $1, we'll tell you which Brian it's in.
I can't. I quit.